true. We've lost control of inflation because people like Joe Biden pushed a species of lunacy called modern monetary theory. They printed an endless torrent of fake money to enrich and empower themselves. And by doing that, they crashed the U.S. dollar and made you much poorer. That's what happened. There's not much debate about that. And they're not going to acknowledge it, of course.
Not good. Now, it's horrible, but the guy who totally missed inflation a year ago, the Angle was warning about it, as you recall, says essentially, don't worry, be happy.
The U.S. economy is actually in pretty strong shape. If you look at the strength of the economy, households are in very strong financial shape. The same thing is true of businesses.
Talk about out of touch, like purposely misleading the country. And, of course, he was reappointed by Congress for another term. You just can't make this up. Zero accountability ever in this administration.
President Biden's administration suffering a series of serious setbacks in recent weeks. From a nationwide crime surge, record high inflation, and the reversal of Roe v. Wade. Biden has taken some action, signing new gun safety measures into law and calling on the Senate to alter the filibuster to codify Roe v. Wade. So far, though, nothing has had the kind of impact you would like. A top Democratic strategist venting about the president, saying, quote, it's infuriating. Our house is on fire, and it seems like they're doing nothing to put that fire out. So right now, still dropping this morning, regular unleaded, going for $4.75 a gallon. At the same time, Reuters reporting millions of barrels of oil meant to help reduce the cost of gas for drivers here in the U.S. were instead exported to Europe and Asia. Those 5 million barrels, part of the president's historic emergency reserve release, went overseas last month as Americans had to cope with record high gas prices here.
Dangerous migrant land routes. But no, this administration wants to go after Arizona, where the people of that state have said, we want to make it easy to vote, we want to make it hard to cheat, we think it's the right thing to do to have people prove who they are in order to cast a ballot in our state.
Biden and Ron Klain, his strange, shadowy chief of staff, have done more damage to this country than anybody could possibly have imagined. We read the numbers every night, but they don't capture it. You know what captures it? This story. This story comes from the reliably liberal financial news outlet CNBC. Here's the second sentence of the piece. Quote, a rising number of former Californians are migrating out of the country altogether and are instead heading south of the border. Many are seeking a more relaxed and affordable lifestyle in Mexico. Yes, in Mexico, not Switzerland, Mexico. So things are so bad in Joe Biden's America that thousands of Americans are voluntarily moving to a third world country in the middle of a brutal drug war. Yes, there are human heads littering.
You look at this. What the people of Arizona did was to say to their elected representatives, hi there, we need to get a good law in place that says, okay, you are going to need to verify who you are in order to vote. Now, this is important to Arizona because what is happening at the southern border with so many illegally entering the country. So the elected representatives perform their constitutional duty. It is called the Elections Clause. It gives setting the time, place, and manner of election to the various state legislatures. They do that. They pass a voter ID law, which is what the people of the state have wanted. And now the Biden DOJ is so busy suing states like Arizona for doing their constitutional duty and passing something that the people of the state want. But the Biden DOJ
thought, remember who they hired to put this on? An ABC producer who, prior to being hired in 2019, I sent a letter to ABC because this is the same producer that had all the Epstein information but kept it out.
You're right.
And think of the similarities when you have Adam Schiff on this committee. Remember when he said, we have a whistleblower coming forward in the impeachment, and he didn't know who it was? And then later we found out the staff had met with him and coached him? Mm-hmm. Or remember when Adam Schiff changed the text on what Jim Jordan said? And remember this committee did the same thing to Jim Jordan? Or what about when he lied to the American public as chair of the Intel Committee, saying the Hunter Biden whole article was Russia collusion?
Right.
Or remember when he said he had proof about the Russia collusion, and he put America through this? And then you also have another member on there, Raskin, Remember what he did? Between Trump being elected and before he's sworn in, he held a rally to say Trump needs to be impeached. This is just the continuation. They're obsessed with Trump, and this is all they want to do. But this hearsay would never be allowed in the court of law. And now you've got the agents. The agents have already testified to this committee, not once, but twice. And it's not just that. Remember when they put up, I saw yesterday, they put up a handwritten note, and they asked Cassidy, did you write this note? Yes, I did. Well, they told us prior, no, she didn't write the note. The attorney in the White House wrote that note. And he came out and said, yes, that's the case too. So Liz Cheney knew that because she already told us that and portrayed this to be something different yesterday.
So what are you guys going to do when you get in there after November, you're sworn in the next year? Are we going to follow up on this? I mean, did she perjure herself? Are you going to investigate how this all went down? And what else could you possibly subpoena out of this White House? You guys are going to run out of paper.
And if you look at where we were the month before the pandemic hit, with record unemployment across every ethnic sector, black, white, and brown, women and men, with a roaring economy, with justice reform, tax reform, Middle East peace.
Yeah.
If you look at where we were under the previous administration and people looked at the results in their lives, they were pretty excited. And now they look at everyday problems and they're only compounding.
Well, that's it.
Right?